Hi, today we are going to be solving quadratic equations using one particular method, but I've listed down the other two as well, which is factorization. We are not going to be doing this. Then you also have the quadratic formula, which is the easiest of all methods. Again, I'm not going to deal with this one. I'm just going to be teaching you how to solve quadratic equations using completing the square method. So for that, let me just begin directly with an example, and let's go stepwise. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do with the quadratic equation is to make sure that your x square coefficient is always 1, because we are going to be using the algebraic identity a plus or minus b the whole square, and I want to have my a as always 1. So to do that, let's just divide the coefficient of this particular equation, the equation by the coefficient of x square, okay, which is 2 in this case. So therefore divide by 2, and that would give me x square minus 5 by 2x plus 3 by 2 equals 0. Now once I have this, I need to use the coefficient of the x term to come up with my b value. Okay, so the coefficient of the x term in this case is 5 by 2, and I need to divide this always by 2. Okay, the second step is always the same number division. Therefore, dividing this by 2, I get 5 by 4, and this is my b value, 5 by 4. Okay, as we've solved the problem, you would understand better why do we say so. And the third step would be squaring this b value and adding and subtracting. So 5 by 4 the whole square gives me 25 by 16. Now I need to add and subtract 25 by 16 in my equation from the first step. So that makes it x square minus 5 by 2x. Always write the plus value first, so plus 25 by 16, then the minus value 25 by 16, and the other constant term, which is 3 by 2 to 0. As you can see, we have inserted these two numbers in this equation. Okay, now the fourth step would be to group them, and that is pretty easy. Just remember, since you are doing it according to the plus sign first and the minus sign next, so just group 1, 2 and 3, these three together. And let the other numbers be as such. Okay, so now as you can see, let me write it here. X square minus 5 by 2x plus 25 by 16 is actually of the form x square minus 2 into x into 5 by 4 plus 5 by 4 the whole square, and that is nothing but x minus 5 by 4 the whole square. So this is my algebraic identity, which is 2, and I don't really need to do that. I could just use b the whole square, a square minus 2ab plus b square. Okay, so far so good. So using this, I can directly write this form. Therefore, I'm going to replace this entire thing by x minus 5 by 4 the whole square, and I'm going to take these two onto the RHS. So that equals 25 by 16 minus 3 by 2. Okay, I need to turn the page over, so please bear with me. Let me start again with the same equation where I left it. Okay, after this it's pretty simple. Since there's a square on the LHS, all you need to do is take a square root on the RHS. But before I do that, let me just simplify this, take the LCM and simplify this. So that makes it 24 by 16, and that's 1 by 16. So x minus 5 by 4 the whole square is equal to 1 by 16, and the fifth step would end up being taking square root on both sides. Okay. Sixth is where you actually get your values, the roots of the equation, and that is by choosing one as plus, the other as minus. So first I am going to choose the plus sign. So x is equal to (3 by 2). What if I choose the minus sign? That's 1. So there you have it. Roots of the quadratic equation are 3 by 2 and 1. So I'll just repeat again. Very first step is to make sure that your x square coefficient is always 1. So whatever be the number, if it is 2, then divide by 2. If it is 3, divide by 3. Whatever be the number. The second step would be to divide only the coefficient of x by 2 always. So 5 by 2 is divided by 2, I get 5 by 4. Now remember, this 5 by 4 is your future b value. Okay, so let me square it and keep it aside. 5 by 4, 25 by 60. Now the third step would be, in my equation 1, I have to insert a plus 25 by 16 and a minus 25 by 16, which is done here. The fourth step would be where you group these terms. And how do we group it? We always take the first three terms, which is x square and then the x value and the positive squared value that you have introduced into the equation over here. And this is actually of the form, as I've explained, x minus 5 by 4 the whole square, which is a minus b the whole square. Remember, this minus over here determines whether you have a minus or a plus in your equation, in your formula. Okay, had this been a plus, then you would have ended up with a plus over here and a plus over here as well. You will use a plus b the whole square. This plus has to be there always because it's a squared value, so it cannot be a negative. If you're using a negative, then you're doing it wrong. Okay, the x term will either be a plus or a minus, and depending on it, your formula changes. So coming back over here, you have x minus 5 by 4 the whole square. Now take the numbers on the other side, simplify them. Simplify 1 by 16, and the fifth is the simplest of all steps. Just take a square root on both the sides. So taking square root on both the sides, I end up with a positive and a negative value on the RHS. To find the actual roots of the equation, use the positive value one time and use the negative value the other time. So you end up with 2 roots of the quadratic equation. I hope you understood the video. Thank you so much for watching.